concentration.
You know who you're talking to, my friend?
What? All right.
Forget about it.
Welcome to the Drop a Gem on 'em podcast. I'm your host Lex, the one getting it done. It's about to go down. Say what?
Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
Drop a gem on 'em. Welcome everybody to the Drop a Gem on 'em podcast, episode 6. I am your host, Alex, the one getting it done, yo Latino extraordinaire. And today I got a very special guest joining me today on this podcast to break down these clips that we find on social media with a very powerful message. We're gonna try to dig out this gem together. Please help me give it up for
your boy Isaiah right here.
Isaiah, man, thank you so much for being on the Drop a Gem on 'em podcast. I know you and I have been talking about working together for quite a while, and now we finally made it happen.
Yeah, we definitely did, man.
All right, for sure, man. So check this out. Today we got a very powerful clip that we found on social media. So this Drop a Gem on 'em podcast is pretty much that. I always go to TikTok. That's my to-go-to. I find powerful clips that motivate me, and I always think to myself, I like this video so much, but it has more meaning to it. And I wonder if other people out there hear those same clips and think, you know what, does it go in one ear? Does it go out the other? Is it just too fast for them? So we try to have this podcast so we can grab those messages, break it down for other people out there that might not realize where the gem is or haven't probably heard it. So this is today. We have a very powerful clip brought to you by Gutter and Saints, and it's entitled Life Isn't Like Chess. And it has a very powerful icon in the hip-hop community. Do you know who Young Guru is?
Yeah, definitely heard of him. Definitely one of the best producers out there.
Definitely, check this out. He's an audio engineer, record producer, DJ, record executive, Grammy Award winner. The Wall Street Journal called him the most famous and successful engineer in history of hip-hop, being a major part of careers such as Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rihanna, Ludacris. The list goes on and on and on and on. So I found this clip, and he was on another podcast. Have you ever seen the Math Hoffa one?
Yeah, based in New York, correct?
Based in New York.
Yeah.
So Math Hoffa, he's a battle rapper.
Okay.
And he has a podcast, and he's always inviting people on his show, and they talk about everything in life. And he always has these superstars in the hip-hop community from back in the day, and he really asks them questions, picks their brain. So I always respected Young Guru. He was part of Rockefeller Records too. Once upon a time, they had the super producers. They had the Kanye Wests. They had Just Blaze.
Yep.
And then Young Guru. Right, so that was like the trio. I always respected his work, but I never really got a chance to hear him speak, talk. I never saw like an interview of him. So this one really impressed me. He talks about chess. Have you ever played chess before?
A couple times, few times.
All right.
Not my forte, really.
You're not really good at chess?
Nah.
Now check this out. I really tried to get into chess many times, and I've always failed miserably. Like, I even went as far as downloading the game on my phone and put it in on easy, and I still get my butt kicked.
That's something I might need to do. That might work out.
So it's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
However, they say it's really good for people who like to strategize. So generals strategize. If you're a leader of anything, you strategize.
Exactly.
It's not just always what's in front of you. Right? It's always you have to come up with a plan. So the actual definition of what chess is, it's a board game of strategic skills for two players played on a checkerboard. Each player begins the game with 16 pieces according to the rules. The object is to put the opponent's king under direct attack, which he has no escape. It's impossible.
That's deep.
It's pretty deep,
That's
right?
pretty deep, yeah.
You never looked at it like chess. So,
Yeah.
of course, very first pieces that you have on the table are the expendable one, like a pawn. A pawn is expendable. But then you got other ones that know how to do this move, they know how to do that move. You got a queen right here that could do all kinds of stuff. And the king is very basic. He's a lazy player, right? He just moves one, moves there.
Exactly.
But if you corner him, he ain't got nowhere to go, you lose, right? So it's very strategic. And a lot of people play chess. They say the smartest ones play chess. I'm not that smart, so that's why I don't play, right?
Man, you smart, man. We just don't get that game yet.
That's right. So this is some games. Talk about games. This is some games. So we're gonna play this clip. But before we continue, I just want the listeners out there to remember this is just our interpretation. This is just how we understand it. This can mean something completely different for you, and that's okay. We'll be posting this on SoundCloud and YouTube. We love to hear your comments below. Maybe you guys saw something that we didn't. And just remember, here in the Drop a Gem podcast, we talk about knowledge, growth, inspiration, and motivation. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I don't mean to offend people that play chess, because I love chess. But I'm trying to say to you, I'm like, when you play chess, everybody start out with the same pieces. That don't happen in real life. It's not a life game. There's no war where everybody has the exact same resources.
Right.
So, well, man, that's pretty deep so far, Isaiah. I mean, this is just the first piece, but when he talks about chess, I gave you the definition of what chess was. And he kind of said something similar, but he also kind of flipped it in a different way that I never saw before. What's the first thing that comes to mind when he talks about not everybody starts off with the same pieces or the same resources?
Everybody's not in the same position that you may be in. I once heard Donald Trump say, "My father gave me a small loan of $1 million." I said, "What?"
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? That's different pieces, different resources, different everything. So some people might start actually from the bottom and then work their way up. He said, "I started with $1 million." I take it as that, like, everybody have different backgrounds. Everybody gonna come up in a different way.
Absolutely. And one thing that I took from it was he says, in the game of chess, everybody starts off the same. And like you said, Donald Trump, he had a loan of $1 million. The most money my father probably loaned me was like maybe a couple hundred. You know what I'm saying? Very different, right? So this is important. He says not everybody has the same resources like in war. So when he talks about that, I grew up in the northwest side of Chicago, Logan Square. I grew up in a certain culture, you know what I'm saying? And there were certain things. So when he talks about war, it kind of hits me different. So I don't want to just take it there. I want to take it in all kinds of different aspects. But let's talk about war. If you go to war with somebody, you gotta make sure that you're on the winning side. But sometimes that's not always the case. Maybe you only have 10 guys, but the other side got 40 guys. Unfair advantage. Maybe one guy over here got a car, but they got a whole fleet, of vehicles, and they can maneuver a whole lot different. Let's talk about business, because in your personal life, you are a photographer, correct?
Correct.
All right, so same thing. Not everybody starts out. If this is chess, you own maybe a camera. I might own a couple video cameras, a video camera. I might have the editing system to do it. So we don't all start off the same, right? So this is very true. Not everybody starts off with the exact same resources. So let's go ahead and continue the clip.
Number 2, I get to see every move you make. That doesn't happen in real life.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
All right, so Isaiah, very powerful. He talks about the second part. So the first part was like, not everybody starts off with the same resources, the same pieces. Very true. Number 2, in the game of chess, I get to see your every move. You move a pawn, I get to see that. I move a pawn, you get to see that.
Correct.
But in life, I don't get to see everything you do. Like, what are some of the things that you allow me to see, for example, like on your Instagram?
First off, you can follow me on Instagram at ZAY60621. To answer your question, I allow my audience to see me work. I allow you to see my pictures. I allow you to see the venues that I'm at. But what I don't allow everybody to see is like behind scenes work that I be doing.
That's right, man. There's a lot of work. Taking a picture is one thing, but then like adding the filters, and doing the effects on it, making sure you capture it, the right lighting. It's a lot behind the scenes. But the only thing I see is you taking the picture.
Exactly.
And I don't get to see all the hard work that's put into it. Very true. Like even myself, man, there's a lot of things that I allow people to see, and a lot of things I don't allow them to see. Right? Like nobody knows how I got here today.
Nobody should.
Nobody should.
Just know, hey, how you doing? And I'm finna get to work.
Exactly.
On the real.
But I'll allow you to see me here. Right?
Yeah,
So anyways,
yeah.
so that's just a brief explanation of that. So remember, number 1 is not everybody starts off with the same resources, and I don't get to see all the moves that you make, right? And before I play the second part of the clip, we talked about war. Like if it was a war, what are some of the things that I would let my enemy see? Like if I'm the president of this nation and you're the president of that nation, what are some of the things I would allow you to see and some of the things that I wouldn't allow you to see?
What I will allow you to see, if we're at war, you're gonna see how many soldiers I got. You ain't gonna see the ammunition that we have, or this bomb that we have, and this backup bomb that we have. No, I ain't gonna let you see that, but I am gonna show you we move as one. We ain't playing around.
Okay, I get that. And like, for example, I'm gonna show my enemy, I could always trick my enemy. I could be like, oh, you know what, here's 10 guys here. But in the background, I got a whole Navy SEAL team, scuba diver suits
You don't even know
behind
it.
them. You don't even know.
Got
So-
Spider-Man in the tree.
Exactly. So remember, number 1 is not everybody has the same resources, the same pieces. And number 2 is in real life, you don't get to see the other person's moves. And in chess, you do. So let's go ahead and continue the clip.
Number 3, every soldier, you're the general as the person moving the pieces. Every soldier does exactly what you tell them to do. They can't do anything else.
Deviate from
That
the plan.
doesn't happen in real life. You know how many generals have told a soldier to do something, he do something else?
No, right.
All right, so this part's a trip, bro. All right, so he talks about, now it's getting very interesting.
Okay.
All right, now we're talking about a little bit more politics, a little bit more involvement. The first one, not everybody has the same resources. Number two, you can't see the moves everybody makes in real life. In the game of chess, yes. However, in real life, if you're the general, right? You got your squad behind you. You got your go-to people that you know you can count on. Then in every click, I don't care where you from, you always have that one person that's just like, I use me. Like, why is this person making my life so difficult, right? You could tell him, hey, I need you to go to the store for me to do something. And in his mind, he hears, I need to do what? I'll do it later. Or he doesn't do it at all. Do you know people like that in your life personally?
Yeah, I have dealt with people like that. In the work business wise and like street wise, I'm gonna touch on work first. Certain people be the janitor and thinking they're the head of the company. You gotta work your way up. I'm the boss. I'm the general. We call them in the hood, you the send-off man. You know what I'm saying? I know you remember that term. You the send-off man. You a foot soldier. You gotta work your way up. That go with both street and work business-wise. Certain people just envious. Same thing, same word in the same context, jealous. And certain people just wanna cheat their way and try to act like something that they not. And if you're not a general, you're not a boss, don't act like one. You gotta build your, you know what I'm saying? You gotta build yourself up for that.
That's right. In Spanish, we got el pollo quiere ser el gallo. Ya quiere pelear el gallo. That means the chick already wants to fight the rooster, right? And it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
In the game of chess, the pieces are obedient. If I say go to your death, you're going to your death. They're a sacrificial lamb. In real life, it's a little different. I know a lot of people sometimes where you go to certain events, you be like, hey, bro, keep it cool today. Hey, man, we go with these people. And those are the first ones that mess it all up, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I got chairs flying, and it's just a whole different. It's a whole different ball game, right? So in general, like a general knows what's best for the team overall as a whole, I believe, right? What's good for the unit, and sometimes you could tell somebody, hey, let's keep it cool today. We don't need all this right now, right? But again, you get that one knucklehead that hears something completely different, does something that goes against exactly what you say, even though he might love the unit as you do in his heart, but in his brain, it does hard-headed. It's something different, right? Yeah. So the general, I think, is the person responsible for everybody else, making sure that everybody goes home together safe, right? And the soldiers, they're the ones to carry out the orders. But what kind of general are you? Are you a general in peacetime? Are you a general in wartime? Are you a general that just knows how to create mischief and bad? Like, what's a good general to you?
I'm someone who definitely leads by example and also just give praise to everyone because you don't know how that might affect that person. And just be on top, be on point, stay on top of your business. Don't let nobody see you slipping up and see you weak.
Weakness. Sometimes people mistake kindness for weakness, and sometimes it's not the case. I heard of something the other day. It was Christopher Walken. You know who that is?
Break it down to me.
Christopher Walken. He played in a lot of iconic movies. He was in The King of New York. He was the Italian mobster that came out of prison, and he was in Pulp Fiction.
I think I'm too young.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you a story that Christopher Walken said. I saw this the other day, and he says in Africa there is a lion. The lion is the king of the jungle. It's hot in Africa. He's tired. He's laying down. He's resting. And you get the cubs, they start messing with the lion, start biting his tail, start messing with him. The lioness comes and starts messing with the big lion again. You know, the big lion doesn't do anything to protect himself. He's just sitting there, he's tired, he just doesn't want to mess with it. The other animals in the jungle, they see that. The jackals, the hyenas, they see all that. Oh, that's the lion. He's the king of the jungle. We're supposed to be afraid of him. But look at the cubs going around messing with him. Look at the lioness going on. He's not doing anything. So they get bold. They get it, entitled. Like, oh, let's go over there and see what he does. First they cross one line, then they cross another, then they cross another. They get too comfortable sometimes. Until the lion says, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta go at them, snatch them, and tear their head off to remind you, boy, I'm the lion. You know what I'm saying?
Stay in your place.
Stay in your place.
Mind your business.
So mind your business. So that kind of reminds me a little bit of what we're talking about. But let's go ahead and continue it because there's definitely some more gems in here.
Fourth, there's no emotion.
Because when you lose that piece,
No.
The point
There's
don't
no
get scared.
emotion.
No, but when you lose that,
I mean,
All right, so this is the very last part of that clip. Very powerful so far. I think Young Guru, bro, he really made me think in a whole different way when he talks about chess. And the last one I think hits me the most when he says, in chess, again, we had talked about number one, It's a board game. Everybody at the beginning starts off with the same pieces.
Exactly.
You have X amount of pawns, I have X amount of pawns,
Exactly.
vice versa. Number 2, in the game of chess, you can see everybody's move. If you move one way, I can see it, but in real life, everybody kind of moves in their own way. They only show you what they allow you to see. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And then we talked about every general might give an order to a piece in the chess game, and they have to do it obediently. But in real life, it's not that easy.
Exactly.
Not everybody listens to you when you say, hey, let's move. Sometimes people don't do it. They want to do their own thing. But as the general, that's important. But in the last one, it talks about in the game of chess, there is no emotions. I can send somebody out there knowing that they're not coming back, and in the game of chess, it just keep on moving, right? Because the objective of that game is to win no matter what, at all costs. But if I'm a general in real life, whether it be in the United States Army or on the streets of Chicago or a CEO of my own business here at the Drop a Gem on a podcast, if I am a general, I can't just send somebody out there knowing they might not come back. There's no emotions, but in real life, there's emotions, bro. Could you give somebody, if you were like the general of a war, and you're sending a platoon out there to a secret mission knowing that they might not come back, how easy is it for you to give that order?
Me being a general, I wouldn't send nobody out there. With me having the heart that I have, I can only speak for myself. I wouldn't send nobody out there, and I know as soon as they go out there, boom, it's over. But this is real life, and I do not see life as a game of chess, because you could win. We could start over. Life ain't no game, ain't no starting over. Once it's over, it's over. It's certain people in this world, though, that do not care about you, and you could be a part of their squad and everything, and there's certain people who do not care about you, like I said earlier. Send off men. There's so many places I can go with this, man.
No, and let's go there, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's very true. Like you being the type of person you are, like just having this conversation with you, I know you're good people. You mean well. You don't want any harm to come onto others. But if the objective of life is to win, if I am trying to be a winner in the game, I know I gotta break some eggs, bro. If I want to make an omelet, I gotta do it. No matter how hard, but I have to do it if I want to win. Sometimes people don't have emotions. That's why they say sometimes the most feared person is the most ruthless, because he'll do anything he has to do in order to be on top. So this is a tough one, and it all comes back to what kind of general are you?
It do, but
And what kind of general are you?
it's basically who you are as a person, and just
It just goes back to like the military, bro. Like if I know I need to win this war, if not, there could be a bigger consequence.
Yeah.
If these people, if I can't sacrifice these people, I know my kingdom is messed up. It's gonna be harmed. It's gonna happen to my people. So sometimes you have to give out that sacrificial lamb. That's a tough one.
who you gonna sacrifice within the organization, though?
Now check this out. You have to send your best. You have to make sure that that's mission accomplished. You can't just send Joe Blow over here, because you're gonna know he's gonna mess it up.
Exactly.
But it doesn't matter if it's Joe Blow or your best. Anytime you can lose somebody, no matter what, by your action, your command, it's gonna hurt. Even if they volunteer, hey, I'll do it.
Because sometimes you volunteer and I don't need that help. Like you say, I need the best. I'm definitely gonna put my best out there, but I would never put anybody out there, and I know that I'm throwing Kurt Heinrich out there. He finna play one-on-one against Jordan. Like, come on, man. I ain't finna do that. You know what I'm saying?
But
Ain't no chance.
But who else could you send out there to cover Jordan? If that's the best player on your squad,
We're gonna have to find Clyde Drexler or Kobe or something.
you're gonna have to look for a banana peel to throw on the floor as
Yeah,
Jordan's running or
yeah,
something, right? You know,
yeah.
that all comes down to the strategy, man.
Yeah.
So overall, I think this was a dope message that Young Guru had.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I saw chess in a whole different life. I'll never say that term again. Life is like chess, right? It's like a chess piece.
It's definitely not, because chess is a game. Life is life. Ain't no starting over. Once it's over, it's over. Checkmate.
Checkmate. Oh, that's the best way to end the show, man. So check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be releasing it very soon on my YouTube and my SoundCloud. You can find it at LX1, LXDAONE, all one word. And yeah, we're going to piece this together. We're going to break it down. We're going to try to share it to the masses, because I heard a gem in there. What about you, Isaiah? Did you hear a gem in there?
Most definitely did, man. Definitely love this conversation we just had.
For sure, man. So Isaiah, before we sign out, man, where can they find you if they want to get connected with you?
You can find me on Facebook at Isaiah Evans. That's ISAIAHEVANS. Middle name is Jamal. Forgot to add that in. JAMAL. And also on Instagram at ZAY60621.
All right, so very good. And I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Much love. I know we've been
Love,
talking
bro.
about this for a long time.
Man.
We finally got a chance to get together and work. And again, I would love to hear your comments, below. Maybe you heard something completely different. Maybe it's a whole different interpretation for you, and it's okay to disagree. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, let's try to find out where the message is, and let's try to implement it in our lives so that we can keep moving forward. So until next time, everybody, this is episode 6 of Drop a Gem on Them. This officially is the last episode for the first season. Season 2 is in the works. So until next time, everybody, peace.
Drop a gem on them.